You sat down and you attacked the master teacher because you thought you heard something that you didn't hear. That's the first violation. You don't come in. First of all, you come in and you act like you come in peace, but you don't. You got an agenda.
Moors are men upright, independent and fearless. Dogmatized, dirty Moors, tongues cut out left earless, cause they never listen. Dirty Moors, keep up your slander. Wu-Tang torture in your ass, hot hangers. Kidnapper, dirty Moor, torture him like Saw. 3D, 0.5 or 1 through 4. Or get it like 5 or 6 with a fez on jigsaw. Leather face in a turban, rip dirty Moors lips off. Disrespecting the mother Raz Mariah Bay. Wrap him up like double crochet, the barbed wire way. Throw him off a bridge or feed him to the piranhas. Yellow journalists more spread nothing but propaganda. Idi Amin Bey, treat the temple like Uganda. Dirty Moors like foreigners, crush the dust like ganja. Not worthy of being Moors, we call them dirty Nehesus. Solomon Seal spell command 72 demons to get you.
This is what the temple guys actually said. That Canaanland is not a part of North America. Canaanland is bigger. Yo, it's in there, man. I mean, come on, you're talking about the same land. Canaanland is actually bigger than the land that they know is the corporate United States. Almost twice as big. And if they had any sense, they could just go to Google and they can type in North America and find out North America goes all the way up to Greenland. But they're ignorant. They don't want to do that. They just dealing off emotion.
You might hear hoarse voices, see frog faces and hoots for feet. Demons we run with spit fire with gold wolf teeth. Keep playing, forget back seats, new Moors are an issue. Get Kinsu, maybe a dream visit from Vishnu. A nightmare to never end and always continue. Cold as an igloo, dealing with my trust issues. Through vigilance, active Moors are militants. SPLC dirty Moors call that sovereign citizen. Lying for views, they notice all the empty pews. Benz need gas and fixing, but not enough dues. Pigpen Bays sell you out for peanuts, claiming that we nuts. For teaching birthright street level, keeping it beat nuts.
To any members of the MSTA that's out there listening to what I'm saying, please get it through your head. I don't have a problem with the MSTA. I got issues with
Chief Kendrick Lamar, stay surrounded by feathers. Dirt is guilty of fraud if Drew scrutinize their ledgers. Getting proclamations from Morocco, disrespect us. Corporate city only recognize people's court jesters. Hand in their back, Moorish puppets and minions. Never get the human rights recognition like Moors near Virginia. Commonwealth, for active Moors knowledge, the Commonwealth. Dirties claim more, but really on the strawman health. Authenticating a birth certificate, that's not significant. Civil little more two status syndicates. In more face, watch them two more status Indians claiming Turtle Island are lying, so intricate.
long days and long nights.
Islam, and greetings, Moors. Welcome back to another episode of Pardon the Interjection. I'm your host, Supreme L. I want to give extremely high honors to your prophet, my prophet, our prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and to the active Moors. Alright? Now, here on Pardon the Interjection, we dig up information to divulge to the people in the upliftment of fallen humanity. And yes, we have fallen hard, but again, as I always say, we're waking up, and it's a beautiful time to be alive, Moors. And today's show is a special show. It's really, really special. We have two guest speakers that's going to be coming up onto the show, and we're going to have some real good information to give out to the family. So I'm going to get the brothers on here in a few shakes, but with that, I want to say it's you see it in the air, you feel it in the air. So you know something is really amiss, as you would say. Something's definitely going on, and we have here on the record, for the record, and we're gonna go right into it in a few shakes here. Let me get the brother on the line now. Now we get this brother on the line. Peace, more family. We have on the line my good brother, your good brother, the brother of the hour, year, and century. My good brother, Mitzrayim Aleph El. What's going on, big bro? How you feeling?
Peace, Noble. All is well. I don't know if it's me, but you sound choppy. Do I sound clear?
You sound real clear, more. Crystal.
Huh?
Crystal. You sound crystal, more.
Okay, all right. That might be you then. It's
Okay.
stormy on the house right now.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy out. It's definitely crazy out, and like I say, it's a wonderful time to be alive, more because is things are coming full surface, and I want to thank you for coming on Partner Interjection once again, more time, and blessing us with your knowledge, more.
No problem, more. Thanks again for you having, man. Nuts.
I wouldn't have it any other way, more. Now I'm just gonna kick it for a few while the other brother about to call in. He's supposed to call in a few minutes here, I guess 1 or 2 minutes, and he will be coming in and joining us. But until then, I want to say, how was your day today, more?
Man, my day was chill, bro. It was chill, bro. Man, you know, it's crazy, bro. At the same time, I could say it was a good day for me.
Mm-hmm.
Others who it's like the worst day for right now. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it's like, damn. And I just got informed of this right before. You know what I mean? You called, like it's crazy, bro. But for the most part, it's been chill. I've been in tune with the energy. Basically, we got the snow, the so-called bombogenesis, and all of that. The new wave of weather pattern.
Wow.
It was like 65-mile-per-hour winds today. I didn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I was at home, everything I needed, and the lights, the light. I was at my desk writing and editing and all of these great things, and
Right.
my light kept flickering at my desk, but no other light, just the one at my desk. I'm like, these gotta turn on,
Pardon me, more. The brother calling in. Let me pardon you for 1 second, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Peace, family. On the phone, we have our good brother, your good brother, up top. Cujo L. What's going on, brother?
Everything is peaceful, more. How you doing, yo?
Just blissful. Just on right now. Got Miz on and got you on now, and it's a beautiful time to be alive. As I say, to have you good brothers come and bless the platform.
Yeah, it's a lot of Miz. What's good, Mark? Nothing but you, bro. Nothing but you, bro. All is well, fam. All is well, bro. I was just telling Supreme, at the same time, I could say it was a good, chill day for me. I know it was like certain people had the worst day like you couldn't imagine. But I'm thankful we here and we all right. You know what I mean? And all is well, bro.
Islam. How about you, Sheik? How was your day?
Yo, you already know everything was peaceful. Always. You know what I mean? Stress will kill you. So
Yes.
forget all that.
Yes.
Forget all that. All is well, yo. Especially me that it's only day and I get the more. You can't get better than this.
Right. There you go. Well, let's go in and get into our topic that we were discussing. I want to bring up the first topic will be in these times is the mothers. What does the mothers mean and to this movement? And what does the mothers mean to this movement?
What if we could start off just by giving honors to all the mothers, give thanks for giving us a platform
Right.
to be able to do what it is that we do, you know what I mean? So Islam to all the Moors worldwide, Islam to the Prophet and true Ali, and of course, praise is due to Allah for everybody that knows about their nationality and birthright. I think the best place to start would be one of the mothers, Rosemary A. The book She Would Do This. And this is page 53.
Pardon me, Sheik. Pardon me, Sheik. I think it's kind of choppy. I know the wind is out, but you're kind of choppy though.
Yeah. I thought it was me. I was trying to get right.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Right. Me too. I was shifting the phone and everything, but yeah, we gonna get it right. Nothing's gonna stop this movement or this energy. So we gonna get it right. But please continue when you can, Sheik.
We'll try it this way. Let's see how this way goes. Everything's good now?
That's a lot better.
Yeah, hold on. Well, all right, peace.
Peace, man.
What happened to the nature? The universe always has been and always will be matriarchal by nature. We were forced into patriarchal dogmatic society as a destructive product of the intervention / diversion, the crusade. The forceful purpose of the crusades was to destroy the matriarch and to introduce a patriarchal system which took not too many generations to fulfill. They created without a doubt Christianity out of the political order of Christendom and forced the belief system out of which you have a people tagged as believers today. Although belief is necessary to teach the initiates or the children, it is also very necessary that one graduate into knowledge or knowing. The patriarchal system is out of order with nature and does not possess logic or common sense. Because it is out of order, it cannot and will not stand. This is why you are witnessing the fall of any and all institutions that support it or are supported by it. What you are witnessing is the fall of an unnatural order and the disillusion of untruths. Truth and facts are colliding with belief and falsehood. With the advent of a false belief system, suddenly, matter appeared to be without order. In fact, if you look up the word matter under the Christian Science definition, which is found in the dictionary, it reads as follows: matter, the illusion that the objects perceived by the physical senses have reality of substance. The intervention and diversions of the matriarchal society started long ago. So we talk about the importance of woman. We're talking about the importance of nature's involvement to this. We're talking about the natural order of this. This is why Jolly made it simple all the time. Because the natural order of things is not really complex. It's order. So we're talking about her involvement or her part to play. It is, according to Noble Drew Ali standard, the highest part to play, because when we checked the one-on-one, he was holding her, not him. So the fact that he was holding her lets not only people involved with this know, but it also lets the world know how important her position is. And then remember, that imagery comes from 1920s. But, she's not unconscious anymore. She knows about her nationality and birthrights now, so it's a whole different thing going on when she realizes how important her part is in this. But I yield the floor on that.
Islam, and brother Miss, you like to add on to that? And like to ask, when you continue with this, with your answer to that question, can you go on into what the weather and parts of that since that's dealing with nature and the weather that we seeing too. Can you do that too?
Yeah.
Please.
Well, right off top, without the women, there's no life for us. There's no movement. You ask one importance in the movement. Without women, there would be no movement. All right, we wouldn't even be here to talk about a movement. So to keep that in place, you know what I mean, or in perspective, pardon me, you have to look at the origins of life, right? As far as what you were saying about the weather, when it talks about who causes, rain, sleet, hail, snow, it says what? The Son of Man. But without the woman, there is no Son of Man. So again, it's all interrelated when you talk about the role she plays in nature. So that being the case, if you go into the book Refugee, it talks about how our mind and mentality is definitely connected with nature. It's women who was responsible for certain things that we know as weather rituals or rain dances and things like that. So their importance in nature goes to ancient roots, because just off of a union cipher based in nature, they can manipulate the weather. They say Son of Man causes it to rain, sleet, hail, or snow, but don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? There was Aboriginal women who knew how to literally make it rain, and we're not talking about the strip club. You hear me?
Islam.
We're talking about her importance in nature. I would have to refer to Noble Drew Ali's words, actually, when he talks about the fact that there is no language that can describe a mother's worth. Or if you want to be correct and say, well, Noble Drew Ali didn't say that. He made sure that Moors had that lesson, which was tailored or divinely prepared by him in the Circle 7. So these things are not for naught. There's importance in that. She doesn't, I don't know, it's a lot to go with that conversation, so I know that women play the role. In these days and times it gets silenced, but from my recent endeavors and studies, I've been kind of going in on the so-called, and I'm emphasizing so-called, so no tomatoes, please, the so-called Cherokee people, and when I look at the history there, and the reason I was going in on that is because I was in the region, and also Noble Drew Ali was born in that area that they called North Carolina, and I was studying the environment there, some of the things, and it took me into further studies from what I had already examined from going to the Native Museum at so-called DC. And, women, they were really instrumental in the whole role of, the Europeans coming in, and also regulations and things like that. That the Aboriginal Moors, or what they call the Cherokee tribe, was opposed to removal and things like that. But, the role that the women played is a story that's not sung loud enough, because they were the ones laying out the rules of peace and things like that. And don't ever get me wrong. When I'm saying, so-called Cherokee or whatever, I'm talking about Aboriginal Moors, Asiatics. I know the Indian brains and all of these things. I just want to make that clear. But all of the Aboriginal societies were matriarchal. So if you look at it from then to now, you can kind of see what's wrong with it, And, I yield the floor on that for right now.
Islam. Beautiful. That was great. Now, I want to go to the Sheik, and I want to ask the Sheik this question. Let me not ask that one first. Let me ask this first, and then we'll get to the next question with that one. prior to the Europeans coming to our land here, northwest of Mexico, what was the role of the mother / woman?
Let's go to a reference point, because being that quote unquote African culture is matriarchal, anywhere we go before the foreigner, it's the same stuff that was going on. So if we go to Ethiopia magazine, Black Woman's Time Now, and this was a Rastafarian quote unquote black woman pamphlet. African queens who stood womanfully. Queen Nyabingi of Uganda. Queen Nyabingi chased the British from Uganda. Queen Nzinga of Makamba, Angola, led her own army to defend Angola against the Portuguese slave trade. Queen Nandi of Zululand, mother of Shaka. Queen Nandi's name is used in South Africa to refer to a woman of high esteem. Nehanda of Zimbabwe. Nehanda defended Zimbabwe from the British settlers' invasion of 1896, in which they were capturing farms and livestock from the quote-unquote blacks. The patriots who fought for Zimbabwe's freedom call her Mubuya, which means grandmother. And there's also mention of Queen Amina of Zaria, Nefertari, and Queen Hatshepsut. So it's clear to see that prior to European colonization and during European colonization, mother played a very important role in defending against these colonists. Not playing sit back, defending against the colonists, which is why when we go into cosmic science of the ancient masters, right, Hilton Otima, he talks about, I lost it. Oh no, he talks about this. Not so many years ago, the world was filled with witches. This was another fraud of Romanism. When it saw its power fading as a result of the bold work, it grew more desperate and resorted to more bloody deeds to hold its victims in line. Witchcraft was one of these measures. It painted a terrifying picture of witches, who were alleged to be certain people who believed that there was a king devil and that he sent forth millions of lesser imps that entered into the bodies of men and women who were willing to make the requisite compact in order that they might do injury to their enemies. Darkness is necessary to make people believe such fraud. In the terrible 16th century, Romanism, and remember when they say Romanism, they're talking about colonization. Romanism urged the criminal prosecution of witches by the civil authorities, composed of men who feared the power of the Romanists. Witch hunts became common. People were afraid to show any unusual and women in particular, always more psychic than men, feared to incur the displeasure of friends and neighbors, knowing they might be charged with endeavoring to cast a spell over them, or with having formed a compact with Satan. In the 17th century, the masses of Europe had been taught by Romanism to hunt for witches, and thousands of innocent persons were tried, convicted by courts ruled by Romanism, and put to death. John Wesley, a big shot Romanist in England, declared that to disbelieve in witchcraft is to disbelieve in the Bible. In England, more than 30,000 witches were burned at the stake. The last victim was executed in Scotland in 1722. In 1670, such executions were forbidden in France by official edict issued by Louis XIV. In England, the persecution of witches was abolished by an act of Parliament in 1736. In the glorious America, the last execution of witches occurred in 1692. The Pilgrim Fathers fled from Europe to the wilderness of America in 1620 to escape from Roman persecution, but they took with them some of their Roman superstition. So Mother had to be put under control. But just like X-Men, nobody's not playing around with Storm. They play games with everybody else. Nobody's not playing around with Phoenix and these people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They don't play with them. They're going to play BS with, Professor X, Wolverine, Cyclops, all the dudes they're going to play stupid with. When it comes to Mother, they don't play.
Right.
Because they already know what's up. So once they got the witches out the way, or the wise, intelligent women, the queen mothers, the matriarch, it was easy pickings on everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was really the power. She was really the power. And the colonists knew this. This is why on their stuff they have her head under the scimitar.
Mm-hmm.
This is why they did their little ritual of throwing Asiatic women over Niagara Falls. Just put, Salem witch trial. All that stuff was part of the Inquisition against the mother. Because once they got the woman out the way, man lost his backbone. Man lost his balls. He became a punk. Because everybody knows that it's all about Mother. So if these people are gonna take out Mother, what's these dudes gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
How much power they got? Which again, if they were in tune with their feminine side, they just turn that on and deal with these people. But they said, no, we're gonna do treaties and all that stuff. You ain't see no women doing no treaties with these Europeans.
Right.
How come there's no treaties with mothers? How come it's only dudes signing stuff? I thought it's matriarchal societies or whatever. Native culture. If it's matriarchal, how come they don't have any say of these treaties that these people made?
Right.
Right? So when we look into that, because I'm gonna use it for when we look into the role that she played, Darby talked about it, Haile Selassie talked about it. Certain people, they let us know that it's all about burn the woman, because if you do not deal with her properly, don't think you're gonna have anything. Don't think your children are gonna have anything. What are you looking for?
Islam. You got anything to add to that, Brother Miz?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say that, you know, it's like, point is very, really imperative to really highlight that, you know, the women, you know, that. However, you know, if you dig into some of the history, like, they had some roles to play in certain situations, right? Because, like, they was the ones who had to civilize these Europeans to even have a negotiation about a treaty. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because, like, let's take a sister that's not really, I don't know her whole story. I was just going through some files, and was a Cherokee sister, right? They identify her history as Nancy, right? Nancy Ward. That's her nom de guerre. That's the straw name they put on her. You can Google that. They whitewashed her in history. We know she was a copper complexion woman. I know some people out in so-called Oklahoma that are doing a play or something about that on her quote-unquote Cherokee roots. And I quote-unquote, I know we're Asiatics. I know we're Moors. I'm just saying, like, breadcrumbs leading to the truth of what happened, you know. They're doing a play on her, and it's funny because a lot of our people in history, especially, you know, Moors, you know, have been whitewashed out. And on this that they got coming up or are doing, they got her face too, like, you know, half copper, half pale skin, you know, sending the message. But came across that history, and she had a lot to do, civilized Europeans in it. And eventually, you know what I'm saying, violated as they do. But I just want to say that these are women that are not highlighted in history. You know, they're not highlighted enough. And like Cujo was saying, if they take out women, you know, it's basically a wrap. Even if I pointed this Gump, you know, had Jenny, right? Forrest Gump had Jenny, but Forrest Gump, he got more respect in the Panthers as a pilgrim, you know, than some of these other people, because when it was time to go in for his girl, when she was getting beat up by another pilgrim, he went hammer time for her, and the Panthers had to respect that, right? In that particular situation, I'm just saying that, you know, everybody understands in reality, even though Forrest Gump was so dumb he was smart, for example, you know what I'm saying? He knew that, you know, you have to protect her, you know what I'm saying? And he got a respect from that. So, you know, it's fundamental principles, no matter what station you hold in life, you feel me, to respect the order of nature. And that's real truth. In fact, that's all I wanted.
Pardon me.
And now keep going. I mean, because some of our sisters have been whitewashed out of history. Like if you look at the cover of Nature Knows No Color line, they have Queen Charlotte Sophia as a light-skinned European woman. And when I say whitewashed, I mean, like, not that they're white people. There's just so much, you know, that has been covered or colored or painted, and it's in appearance only. Like, it's only in appearance. Whereas just like the white, where they made Yahshua look like a pilgrim opposed to a Canaanite Moabite, they've done the same thing with our women. So some of them are not getting proper credit. But we do know those who deserve the credit, like Sojourner Truth, who went hard for freedom into her children back. You know, I was sisters and tell me got problems like that. I'm like, you know, I understand going hard for freedom, but you know, I'm not a mother, so I certain things I'm just not going to be able to relate to, but I do understand. And I'm like, you know, you might have to look to the ancestors for further guidance, because they already dealt with what we're dealing with. She already dealt with getting impropriate persona, so-called Sojourner Truth. She dealt with getting impropriate persona. She dealt with getting her child back after these pilgrims took them. So, you know, when we talk about the unsung story of our women, you know, yeah, not all of them were for integrating with the pilgrims or any of that, but they have stories collectively that are just not being told, you know, enough. You know, they're not being told enough, you know, because I don't know if it's just me, but I remember when they was talking so-called Black history, it was just about those who made achievements in sports, you know what I'm saying? And not to knock those achievements, but they wasn't really going in hard body about those who made achievements in freedom for birthrights and things like that. So, you know, Sojourner Truth, Jarena Lee, you know, these were all people who were about their freedom. And these sisters do not get enough credit in history. So I say that again as, like, yo, Noble Drew Ali holding up the woman, she's unconscious. That should be a key that something happened in history that we need to be looking at, because she wasn't like that her whole life. It ain't like she was you know, unconscious her whole life. Something happened where lights went out. It was a blackout. What's her story? You know what I mean? If we're looking at the cover of the 101, what is her story? Did it start with being unconscious? Like, did somebody hit her in the head? Did she fall down? You know, did she get pushed? Like, what happened? You know? So, when I look past 1913, I see our sisters going hard for freedom. Like, dumb hard. You know, but that's my piece on there. And for now, I yield the floor.
Islam. And I was going to go and ask you, that plays into the next question, and I guess in a way it was kind of answered, but then again, not fully, and I want to get a full dissertation of this. That question would be, how did the woman fall? And that's to any one of you brothers.
Like we said earlier, that Romanism took hold. Once Romanism took hold and got her out the way, then it was easy to control everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's not a thing of, it's like when they look at Willie Lynch letter and stuff like that. Forget the letter and people on the James River and he's reading it to people and all that BS. Forget about that. What are the abstract things from the letter that are permeating today? Almost everything. Almost everything that they have in there is manifested. When everybody goes with the patriarchal program, then there's no help for anybody. And remember, the patriarchal program is who attacked her and took her out. The patriarchal ideal is why women fell. Because if we look at it, you know, the patriarchal thought would be the lower self. So we could say the Noble Drew Ali lesson, gratifying the lower self, chasing after the gods of Europe of who we knew nothing of. And then we get under the spell and then now we're blaming the God that we started facing, opposed to looking at ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Because remember, they still have to kind of use the illusion. So, you know, the personified masculine Christ usually have long hair and wear dresses. And then the Pope wears a dress. And all the preachers wear dresses and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm not going to say that it's some religious garb, but it's really a dress. Because they have to honor the woman.
Right. Right.
Right?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's,
No, we're not talking about Puffy wearing a kilt, wearing a dress. We're not talking about that kind of dress.
That's saying the imam is a cross dresser right now. I just
Pardon the interjection. My bad. She go ahead. Please continue.
What's all that? Right, so because of this,
judges, the so-called judges.
Oh yeah,
right,
pardon the interjection. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Black dresses at that.
black dresses. Right? You know what they use the black dress for? The black dress.
Goddamn magistrate dressing trying to judge you. That's crazy, bro.
No, you know, if a woman scoring is that bad, what's the tranny scoring?
Wow.
Right? When you go up in these tribunals and guys get 10 years because they spit somewhere.
Right. Right.
Okay? So, you know, the patriarch has to make sure that they stay with divine order, kind of, because really it's the people who's messing up. Right? Like they say, you know, they give the people European Mary, they got Asiatic one in the basement that they're putting to forget what these people are on.
Right.
Right? You know, they tell the people to go kiss black stones or whatever,
Right.
but they know that that's the yoni that they're kissing, the high people.
There you go. There you go.
Like, they know that that's the black hole that they're kissing, black hole coming out of a wall. Right? They have to put women in there, but the point is to degrade her in there, not give her true honor. Right? That's like sisters going to the liberation, women's liberation stuff. Like, that's not your stuff. What are you going there for? You got your own stuff to work about. You're going about some women's liberation on a global scale or whatever. When your stuff is messed up, you talking about cut somebody else's grass? Your grass high as hell.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But yeah, I'll close out right there.
But pardon the interjection. If you don't mind, I like to add to that, especially what Brother Miz was saying about the judges and the black dresses. Now I know they don't do that much here with this practice. They don't practice that here, but even with the black garments, they used to wear the wigs, the white wigs, and only women wear wigs, right?
Alright. Cross dressing at its finest. Go ahead.
There you go. There you go. But please, brother Miz, please, can you add to that if you will?
Yeah. Well, the Whittemores basically was so-called white Moors, like so-called. You know, they a lot of them. Because remind you, this is the preface to the whole Ku Klux Klan oath and all of that. But these were just Europeans who were practicing science. But there, as I'm looking at it now, I see they wanted to be more down, because we Aboriginals always had a matriarchy society. I think they took it to the full extent with the wigs and the dresses and everything like that. So I don't know. I'm thinking, you know, more so because, again, it's been pointed out, you know, you see their old paintings, you know, if we're talking about the dress and the wigs they wore, you know, they also, you got George Washington in high heels and all of that. So, I mean, you know.
Right, that's right.
You know, you can see why they got so many rights. It's crazy because, like, they got more rights than just, you know, natural people, just regular people under the administration, because you know, Moors go to correct their appellation and get resistance in some cases, in some the few, you know, few or whatever. But you know, they just was like, nah, straight up, if y'all want to change your name, go ahead. Like, they got a multitude of case laws on that. I'm like, damn, you know. But when you look back on it, like, that's their culture. You know, as it's becoming more clear, they wanted to be in the position of the power that our women were in, and really still are low-key in. You know, it's just a matter of discretion of how that power is exercised. So, yeah, man, I'm just seeing it like that, you know.
Islam, and if I may, since you're speaking of George Washington in the hills, there's a story about him that they really didn't have a portrait or picture of him, so they grafted his face and picture from his mother. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's the story that I have heard, that the portrait that we see of George Washington is really a portrait of his mother. Now, the family can do some research on that, but I did hear that from a European here in D.C. We went to the museum. But that'll take me on to the next question. And the next question I have for you brothers is there any truth to the women of the Amazon?
What truth? There's a lot of truth. What are you talking about? Like,
did they really exist?
Were they tall? Like, what you mean? Is it any truth?
What did they exist?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what's the truth that you're familiar with? I mean, because like when you say is there any truth to them? I mean, yeah. If you're talking about women that existed in the Amazon, of course, you know. But there's a lot of truths to a people. So like, you know, you can hear something about many people, and you're saying, is it true? And it's like, is what true? Right. You know, did they chop head? You know, yeah, they did. The homies, did they, you know, were they dark skinned? Yeah, they were. Were they tall? Yeah, they were. Were they stacked? Yes, they were. Were they fertile? Yeah. I mean, so I don't know what you mean by is there any truth to that?
No, pardon. You're doing great, bro. It's all the above. And to add to that, were they, when you say were they fertile, were they able to have children without the need of a man? Is that truth to that? Since we, you know, hear a lot of that.
Well, I would say that in nature, there's I don't think there's anything that's impossible when it comes to creation. personally, don't get me wrong, I know the basic science, like, a male and a female are going to make a child, but that exists in many things. There's many things in nature that are auto-fecunding. So if, we're going to hold her on this theme of being a part of nature, and she's God, and she's, Allah, arm, leg, arm, head, I mean, I can't say that there's a limit to what she could create.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So at the same time, it's like you see this happen in other species. There's, it's something called green turtles, and what happened was they basically, because of the temperature change, they're all turning female. They're only producing females to preserve their species. Mm. Right now, as we speak, you can open a new tab in your window and Google that there is, in fact, you know what I'm saying, species who are turning female and only producing females right now. Mm. So if she's, you know what I'm saying, if she's Allah and all of these things, I couldn't say it's, you know what I'm saying, not in her DNA to tap into creation, and if it was a necessity to preserve species, that she wouldn't reproduce herself to make more copies of herself, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Really good. Appreciate that. Now, you have something to add to that, Sheik, before I move to the next question? Islam.
Well, I'll say this, that along the lines of what Ms. was saying, that you can't really put a limit on nature. Mm. And if we go into certain sciences, people are going to talk about using sexual energy and stuff like that to regenerate themselves, which is what snakes would do. Mm. Or reptiles. Right? They just shed the skin.
Right.
Right? So, if they're going to apply that to themselves, why would these people be in denial of applying woman could create herself without him? Mm-hmm. So now it goes into the psychology of the people who think like that. Clearly those are people who, this is maybe their, first, second time around. They haven't even gotten to certain places yet to even digest certain things. They're not even on the level to appreciate nature, which again, remember, is woman, right?
Right.
To appreciate nature, Mother Nature, in whatever form that she comes in, but once it's related to Mother, probably connected to nature. Right? Once you look at it as what it is, instead of having your patriarchal mindset that there's a limit to her, that the patriarchal mindset is so ingrained in majority of our people that even she's gonna doubt that she could do that. Mm-hmm. Once they got it there, done. If she believes that, he's God himself, then it'll probably go that way. Mm. Right, we're not even talking about faith fruition here. We're talking about just belief only.
Right.
Imagine what happens if it's fruition. is the mindset. With regard to her sons, her daughters, you know what I mean, and everything else that revolves around her. You know?
Right.
The, even because I know that people have these questions relative to certain things that, you know, you're not really going to find any info. There was a reconstruction of history. But don't get mad. Use your common sense. Don't get mad that you can't find audio of no control. Know that the concept audio of garbage is obviously selling out. I don't want to second stuff. Just use your common sense. The brother said that the water temperature is going to be a certain temperature, and these beings are going to only reproduce the part of themselves that can live in that temperature water. You know how crazy that is?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one species that we know about. Right. You know, and then remember, that's below us. And if that's moving on those levels, that's below us. That thing knows that up temperature, and that's time to just recreate ourselves, and that's it. Imagine systems realize that, hey, hold on a second, full moon. Everybody just go do whatever ritual, full moon rituals, and sisters, get your man, do whatever, bam, bam, and then they're on the same wavelength or whatever. You think that stuff's not going to change tomorrow? You know? We're talking about just another being in nature. Another being in nature. But it has enough common sense to know, oh, temperature changing, well, can't produce any males right now. And all the sisters already are on it. Like, how crazy is that? But not that much. You know what I mean? Because they need the little man, and then they need the black guy, whoever, and they need all these people writing all these books and showing all these stuff and doing all this stuff to just keep them not using their common sense and fixing this stuff. Why? Because you're the Amazon woman. Some people of the Amazon woman, just go to the hair store. Go to the nail shop. Go to get your eyebrows done shop. You'll see the Amazon woman right there getting her stuff done. Chasing after the gods of Europe that she knew nothing of.
Islam. Wow. Wow. Well, with that being said, pardon the interjection, I know we're coming down to the last, just, what is it, 5 minutes left on this recording, and I do want to come back on the second part of this, if that's good with you brothers. But I got about 5 more minutes on here, and then I got to do some erasing, I guess. But that was really good, and this is really good. I want to thank you, brothers. You know, I want to thank y'all because it's a major part of the movement is the mother sister.
Yeah, it's hard. Oh yeah, and don't forget we're live too. So if you got some more, we could go for another little bit of Mrs. Good.
I'm good. I'm jacked in, bro.
Okay.
Glad to have you all. He's in the Matrix right now. I'm good, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can keep going. You know, pardon the interjection doesn't stop.
No, it never does. It never does. But what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to come back in about 10 minutes, if that's cool with you brothers, and I can clink back in about 10 minutes. Is that all right?
Yeah, we'll just continue going on for right now.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna
You can just do your thing. We'll be here.
Okay, I'm gonna do my thing. Do y'all want me to set it right here and let y'all go ahead and go for what you know, and then I'll come back, or because I can do that. I can let y'all two still build on here together.
Yeah, we're still doing it right now.
Okay.
So we're still going on.
How about this? Spin us some tunes, Cool John, until bro is ready. Cause I'm good. We could go in all night. I don't care. We can keep going, or we for Supreme to get back right. It doesn't matter.
And all I gotta do is cut it here, do a little bit of shaking, lay the dough on the plate, and then put it right in the oven. That's all I gotta do more.
Well, just do your thing, we're ready, but just mute, and we'll just keep going in when you're ready. The interjection.
Okay. Well, y'all go ahead and do that thing. Cause I can't mute because I have Miz and you. So y'all go ahead and do your thing, and y'all build together, and I'll be right back in about 2 or 3 shakes.
All right, man.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Islam.
Islam. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What else been going on? Since we're waiting. You heard anything going on? I heard they're trying to make teachers have guns and stuff like that.
Oh man, yeah. You know what, bro? It's crazy. I was tuned into the news beat for a minute, but I kind of fell a little bit back off of the out of the new fake news, as Trump would call it. Trump is trying to arm teachers. There's some teachers who saying they already have guns. I can't believe it's crazy. They're saying that Trump and Sessions are falling out, and I'm like, oh snap! Like this is crazy. Like, 'cause Sessions, he already got up there and looked all crazy when asked about the DIE thing. So I just seen that there's a lot of politicians in the so-called White House who have resigned this week, and some of them are saying that they even on it to the point where they're saying some of them left Department of Homeland Security to come work at the White House, and he's like, yo, that was punishment from God. He's like, yo, this was my karma. He didn't ever really want to be there. So on the politics level, that's what I noticed. But I also wanted to point out, I don't want to go too in without the Brother Supreme, but the Statue of Liberty, because we was talking about the importance of the woman, and there's a lot of women who, are coming out with discrepancies about the so-called President Donald Trump. They came out with discrepancies, but it's just interesting that even down to the fact that the Statue of Liberty represents a female or a woman, you know what I mean, goes to show you that it's not for nothing. Like the woman is definitely important. We could turn up more on that when Brother Supreme comes back on. But yeah, more that's basically it. Oh, another thing, the new thing is I had to ask some people, right? Because, I'm 30, bro. I'm about to be 31 this year. And my whole life I've heard of all types of storms, like hailstorms, snowstorms, rainstorms, but I never heard of a storm called the bombogenesis. And that's what they say happened on the East Coast back in January. They also said that that's what happened today, because I don't know if you know, like the wind is really strong right now. It's really strong, and it was all day, but it was a rainstorm or nor'easter that turned to a rainstorm, and later it turned to snow. But they're saying that it's a quote-unquote bombogenesis, and I was thinking, is that hard? Because a bombogenesis, that sounds like an attack. That doesn't sound like, a gift from the Creator giving the land what it needs at the time for future reference. Like, abomogenesis sounds like, you know, engineered attack on the weather manipulations or something. And I don't like to get into conspiracy theories because I believe that Mother Nature can do whatever she wants to. I really do believe that. But it just was the first time I ever heard of abomogenesis for the second time, 2 times this year. So I was asking, you know, some of the people that were elderly, I'm like, you know, I'm only 30 and, you know, you're elderly, you know, and I was taking this position off of some of the people I know daily and the fact that, you know, you could tell an elder, you know, all gray, whatever. And I'm like, have you ever heard of abomogenesis? And they like, nah, never heard of that. So to me, I figured this is something new as far as the weather was concerned. I don't want to be blatant about it, but I know that Noble Drew Ali also mentioned things of this nature about the weather, you know, and, you know, I just don't know if that's real or man-made. I've been in situations, seen the fake snowblower, so I don't doubt anything, you know, like the machines that blow out snow. Like, I seen one of those in so-called New York City. As a matter of fact, I was with Blue when I saw it. Like, and I'm like, oh, this fake snow is not a joke. You know what I'm saying? It's real. So, I don't know, but that's what it's like over here, bro. You know? I was telling Supreme before you called in, he called me right before you linked on the phone from the beginning. I was telling him, you know, the wind was so strong. I was at my desk all day writing and editing, and only light that kept flickering from the wind was the one at my desk. And I'm like, yeah, you know, just a sign that the light is on. That was zoned in, bro. Zoned in. But I'm not going to ramble on. I'm going to yield the floor over to you on what's good on your side, bro.
We made a stop at this. We got this fraud going on here about carding. Highwaymen have an act. Services have an act where they're saying that they want to just card people. They just want to stop them anytime they want, ask them for their phone or whatever. So there was an independent forum by this justice out here by the name of Michael Tulloch, a brother, good brother, trying to do some work in the community to change some of these policies that are only affecting Negro, black, colored people. You know, there was a sister there who, because of the same carding thing, her cousin got killed just because he was in the car too. And he was like, nah, I don't have to give you anything. But I have to give you something. There was another lady there who, her son, but again, you know, no reason, just because someone doesn't want to give up their identification, which, you know, under the jurisdiction of Canada, the Charter of Rights and Freedom, in there it says, in their own corrupt way, in there it says people have certain rights that can be infringed on. One of them is the right, you know, who you are. You don't have to compromise yourself because somebody said, okay, your life is in danger or whatever like that. And you know, we're there because we just want to show presence. We already know what these people are. You know, They're just pathetic because they kept stressing this theme that it's an independent whatever. There's an independent that has nothing to do with, you know, the so-called jurisdiction of what they would say, Canadian government. You know, while the things going on, you know, they had a little round table where they give all the table questions and then they answer questions and all that stuff. And then at the end, you know, every table gives their report and then the justice, you know, takes his notes or whatever like that, and then they're gonna do whatever it is they're gonna do with the notes. So some of the things that we presented was printouts for everybody in there of the law enforcement code of ethics and the law enforcement oath of honor that 99% of people in there never seen that, heard about that, and have no idea that that exists. But it's coming from the International Association of Chiefs of Police, who those people respect, because that's the International Association of Chiefs of Police, and there's a chief of police in this jurisdiction. You know, so this is it. You know what I mean? This is something that we can use. Like, how come nobody's not talking about it? Lawyers were there, highwaymen were there. The good brother, we're gonna be doing an interview with him soon, right? Martin Neal had a blackout of his case. Brother got shot by the police and didn't die. Won the civil suit. Highwaymen robbed, like came in the house and robbed him of almost all the suit money. Right? So he's at the thing. And at this independent whatever is a man who he recognizes. So when it's time to get the, you know, so when they're passing the mic around for people to talk or whatever, he put his hand up, he wants to talk. You know what I mean? So he starts off by saying, if you go to Lanrio Bay on Instagram, Lanrio Bay on Instagram, the live video should be up there. So he gets up and he says, are there any police officers in there who are proud of their job or whatever? And all the, you know, all the police stand up with their chests out, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? We're here representing for the black people or whatever. Yeah, you know, you guys shot me in the back or whatever. He starts going into his story or whatever. The focus of him standing up was this dude who was there. That when he was 18 years old, Brother Martin Neal, when he was 18 years old, he went to this jail out here that was called the Don Jail. You can do your research on the Don Jail. And when he was in the Don Jail, the man who was at this thing, at one of the round tables, was one of the correction officers. They used to punk him off and all that stuff. So he's laying out everything. Yo, man, I just saw you last week or whatever like that. You know what I mean? I came up to you and I asked you about, you know, if you were the guy who ever worked at the Don Jail, and you told me work there, I ran that bitch.
Peace, Morris. I'm back. Peace, Morris. Islam, everything went good. I see everything went good. I'm back now. So, Islam, I want to cut y'all wisdom. I ain't want to cut your bill, but want to get back to the Q&A.
No doubt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll pick up. Go ahead.
Pardon the interjection. When he said, who was he talking about? The jail? I missed that last part. Say that again? When you said when he ran this shit, like, what was he talking about? The jail? I missed that last part.
Yeah, he was talking about the jail.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Well, he was trying to, at the thing, dude was trying to deny it. Like, deny it to the point where they had a face-to-face confrontation. You know what I mean? Just talking, but it was like face-to-face. You know what I mean? And, the brother's Rastafarian and all that, so he's already on his height. You know what I mean? He's not one of these, Rastas out here that you see, that you think, oh yeah, those guys just beat the drum and all that. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, he's a mystic for real. So yeah.
Indeed.
So yeah, we'll continue on.
Islam.
Continue on from where we left.
Islam. It seemed interesting, so I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. Check that out when we're gonna get back. But pardon the interjection, and we continue with the Q&A with my brother Mizraim, LFL, and Sheikh Kujo Adwa L. And the next question I have was, since we're on the mother, and want to go back when you were saying about, about witch hunting, and when the Europeans was doing the witch hunt, and that brings a story to mind of Joan of Arc, which I know y'all really familiar with. Now, do you know anything about Joan of Arc, and does that have any ties to our sisters?
Nah, brother. I don't know.
Because I heard one thing about her that, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, what I'm saying, but I've heard that she was not a European. She was actually a sister. Now, is there any truth to that? Do y'all know? Because I don't know if that's true or not. But I've heard that Joan of Arc was really a sister. She was not a European.
Well, I would say this, that anytime you see women playing a particular role, know that it's really dealing with some type of metaphysical sciences. Because when you look up, if they say, Joan of Arc, they're going to be talking about some type of saintly whatever.
Right.
Somebody for the good of whatever. It's not going to be in the negative.
Right.
Now, when we just look at it metaphysically, we're saying arc, then you already know that it's metaphysically it's the womb.
Right. That's right.
Right? So there's no need to go anywhere else. Because you already know what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a marker.
Oh, snap. Hold on, my fault.
Yeah.
No, my fault. Did you say Noah's Ark or Joanne's Ark?
No, Joan of Arc, because that was a story that I was hearing, partner interjection, about someone was telling me about women, in history, and Joan of Arc came up, and in our conversation, someone had said, "Oh yeah, she was a sister."
Oh yeah, my fault. No, I just want to be clear. I don't know your wisdom. I just want to be clear. I didn't know if you said it. Noah's Ark or Joanne, something. My fault, bro.
Oh no, no worries, no worries. Please continue, Sheik.
Noah. Yeah. So like, it's a metaphysical message, because when you check the lesson that's to be learned, the lesson is really about sacrifice, because she was really a martyr. Regardless of whether she was European, Asiatic, Chinese, or whatever like that, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Just like don't worry about the messenger. Just get the message.
Right.
What are you gonna kill the messenger for? You get the message? Okay, so you got the message, like, he's not no threat.
Right.
He's just a messenger.
Right.
So again, going back to the theme of the day, that, everything's matriarchal. That's why they give her honors, because it was a sister that was a martyr.
Right. Right.
Or for people who might be mad because I called her my sister. The European daughter.
Right.
On the other side of the fence, sister. So regardless of what, if we look at it metaphysical, then we eliminate all the patriarchal BS, which causes the confusion and the not understanding what's really being told, because the patriarchal mindset is surface. It's surface. Why was she a martyr? Because like, who you think you are? Or you're made of something. What are you talking about? Women don't have no honors around here.
Right. Right.
What honors you got as a woman in 1400s or whatever?
Right.
As far as the Europeans we're talking about, because they built patriarchy from the jump. They honor the matriarch when it's time to go in the barn and stuff like that. I give her no open honors. There's the earned honors.
Alright.
Which is going back to the same thing of why women's rights and all that type of stuff. That is not really for Asiatic women.
Right.
So yeah, you could look and recognize, I see you guys getting your whatever, cool, but we have our own stuff that we need to fight for as Asiatic women. But then, only women could see that. Like, we're not women, so we're just building on this.
Right.
If it makes sense, then hey, apply it. But we're not telling women whatever it is, because we're not women. We're just building.
That's right.
So,
Islam. You have something to add to that, Brother Miz?
Interesting, because you were talking about women, and I was thinking, like, the patriarch. I was reading in the book, and I found it interesting the language that they use. They were speaking of the Aboriginal woman, and they were just speaking in general as well about, and this is from the pictorial history of America, they were referring to their husbands as, or their counterparts as oppressors. Like, so think about that.
Wow. Wow.
Because look, some of us still got right? Because, you know, the way that it is right now, when we say patriarch, that goes beyond the color line, but there's one that's in place that's for real, like, and the agenda is like really break us up as a people. And I say that because there's brothers right now, right? And this is not going to type of gender war, but there's brothers who are on child support who literally got locked up on their way to their children's school shopping. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's borderline slavery, bro.
Right.
Like, what? You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that, you know, brothers feel like, oh, that's my girl, you know, I owe her. And sisters is like, yo, I ain't no slave, you feel me?
Right.
I don't know what's wrong with brothers' social problems, but you know what I'm saying? You know, looking at it as, I don't know, it's just the problems that go into where we was at from then to now. You know, the social skills now is looking crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, something that's going to make it put the natural principles down, you know what I'm saying? They will excel, but I don't know, bro. It's just a lot of reasons these sisters are feeling like, yo, I could be independent. You know what I'm saying? I don't need. I'm saying, and there's brothers who feel the same way. So I think that the social ills, when we're talking about where we at 2018, Gregorian calendar, those can't be left out either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the time, it gotta be known. Like, I seen some people speaking on, you know, the order of nature, bees, etc. You have to learn from, we're connected to, and recognize each other for who we are, and know that you can't own another human being, even if you have children. I remember the book, it's the book by Khalil Gibran. Damn, I forgot the name. How could I forget the name of that book? My mama kill me right now if I forgot the name of that book, but she know what it is. I think, no, it's not a tear in the smile. I forgot the name of this specific one. But nonetheless, he was saying you don't even own your children. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
let alone owning your mate, something like that. You know, it's like we got to come out of that patriarchal mind state, because that's inspired this whole theme of marriage license. You know, Europeans wanted to be able to go to keep Moors out of the, you know, pale skin nations of your women, and to be able to, for them to go into any one of them at any given time and it be legal, because they had the piece of paper saying that they were the same person joined in on paper. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's off with the Europeans, so Harvey Weinstein and all of them, that comes from, that's their shit. Like, that's what they was about back then. That's what the whole marriage license concept, all of that is interrelated to that. And sisters is like, no way. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not saying this just to say this. I'm talking the lessons of Abu Ali. He said we gotta have a greater respect for womanhood. I heard the foul mantras. We know it was like all of that, but I'm just saying, you know, not in the derogatory way. When I say the foul mantras, the common theme, it was in the music. You know what I'm saying? These chicks ain't nothing. You feel me? And then it starts looking like, hey, you know what I mean? So it's a whole thing present that's going with these problems or these resolutions we need to resolve. How we even look at the sisters and how they look at us. Do we express that? You know what I'm saying? It's going to determine, you know, the relationship bad ones and allow each other to speak well. So I'm saying that the social ills are real when you talk about this patriarchal form of mind. You know, people can't even fathom the thought of the fact that it's a fact. You know, Greek turtles, they know how to self-observe all of these things. We're not learning from nature. We're learning from what we're intaking and not even perceiving what it's really saying or showing us. So, I don't know, bro. To say that social ills run deep is way deeper than skin deep, but it's a part of the patriarch, like Cujo was saying. It goes deep. It's an agenda, you know. So, now you're the floor, fan.
Islam, very good, very good. And I would say that was really good, more. So my question, and this is not, something I've written down, because I do have questions written down, but I want to just get this off the brain. How do we begin to break that spell? Not even as a man, but to our sisters, to our mates, to our mothers. And if it is possible, to some of our mothers that may not be on what we on, as the prophet brought back to us. How do we, what is the two apples we give them? As the prophet would say, pardon my interjection, as the prophet would say, give them two apples. What is the two apples, or what can we do to begin to break that patriarchal chain or mind state or spell?
Yo, can I just say something quick? I just want to say the first thing that came to mind, and this is real short. I don't think I have all the answers, but you said the two apples.
Yes.
And I thought, I heard, you know the saying, apple of the eye. I know women are usually visual, you know what I mean? So a lot of have to show them things more than tell them. I don't know. I could be wrong. Sisters can speak up for themselves. I'm just speaking from my experience. I know sisters are visual. So, not that they're not readers, but even if they're readers, they're still visual. You know what I'm saying? So I think more so we have to work on improving opposed to just or talk. That's just my position. I don't know. I could be.
Islam.
The floor.
Islam. And before I get to you, Sheik, I know you gonna chime in on this one, but I want to just say that is true though, more. That is true, noble one, because like the prophet say, he said we're from Missouri, and that's the show me state. So I just want to throw that in there too off the brain. But please, Sheik, what you got to add to that?
Islam. I would just add chapter 21 in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America and the Moorish Holy Science. That'll be one apple. The other apple, that's on her after she reads that.
Islam.
Because just like the brother said, we can't tell them. You know what I mean? It's the path women are going to have to walk if we're going to get out of it. So they're going to have to, and again, we have people who are living, who are old, who were young, that were brought up right by mother. And they came out fine.
Right.
It's not something that, can't be done, or some far-fetched thing we're trying to attain. It's something that's going on right now. It's just everybody's not on it. Some people want other people to raise their children and stuff. True. And then again, going back to what Min was saying with the social ills is even why. Why they would have to rely on somebody else, to take care of their heirs.
Yeah. Hey, you know what though? Let's just take a second and give a big acknowledgement to that boy sister out about so-called Texas who raised her son. Like I know what I know what Noble Drew Ali said about the colleges and things, but it was a mother. She raised up her son to graduate from quote unquote college at 14, like physics, calculus, all of that. So what I'm saying is, like you said, there's certain people being brought up a certain way, and I'm sure a lot had to do with homeschooling. That she's producing out. She produced out a star seed that's 7 years ahead of the average adult.
Wow.
Already at 14. You
Wow.
feel me? 7 years ahead at 14.
Wow.
You feel me? So, and the Moorish sister produced that. You feel me? So it's like, what they could do, what they could bring in, who they could bring in, what they do when they get here, And when I'm looking at it, I didn't see a father in the picture, but I don't know what that relationship, and I ain't judging. You feel me?
Right.
I'm just saying, when it was interview time, it was the mother. She had a 14-year-old son who graduated college, not high school, college at 14, and then another son that was 11 that's about to go in. You heard? So, the sisters can do it. It's happening out here.
Wow.
It's just like I said, getting the proper highlights.
Right.
That's,
And pardon the interjection on that. That's a Dookie Howser, if you will. That's our Dookie Howser. So I really appreciate that. I don't know about the story. I wish I'm gonna go and get some more information into that story. But wow, a 14-year-old graduating college, more. You don't hear that. Texas, more. Texas.
Understand that, Texas. You heard?
Which was the last country to fall to be a state. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that when the sisters really put it on, you know what I mean? We got geniuses waiting to come through. That's all around the nation. And then there's youth in Africa who is calculating in ways to remember where they're not even using the timetables charts anymore. You know what I'm saying? And they're born with it naturally.
Wow.
But if you pick them in a public school, right, they would go into all that special education and lay them down. You feel me? Like they're less than. They make them feel like, the way you calculate math, you're slow. But they're getting it done with no times table. You feel me?
Right.
So it's like, yeah. And this is what we gotta be aware of, that there's natural born geniuses coming through. And, some of the mothers is on it when they see it, because he was saying things at 3 where she was like, oh, he's into this. We're going this way, because there's no way he could have had said that at 3 years old and wasn't an ancient one returned. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. It's just, when we look at the roles that the mothers play, I know their intuition is great. When they really want to be on it, they on it. So, it's not like, in correlation with what Cujo was saying, like, it's not like it's not happening, but it's just, it's just a need for a more massive wake up at this point. And I'm not saying that whether you did or didn't graduate college, that determines who you are. I'm just saying for a child at 14, a young Moor at 14 to have had graduated already shows the limitless possibilities we have. And like I said, it goes into so much because, like you said, the sister's on the other side of the fence. You know what I'm saying? It's a European woman, and her European counterpart, male, they had a child, and they already got the child riding dirt bikes at 4 years old, prepping him at 4 years old to be a professional dirt bike rider. and things like that. So what I'm saying is, with the Moore graduating at 14, he's 7 years ahead of at the average young adult. With the European boy riding the dirt bikes at 4, hopping wheelies and jumping hills at 4.
Right.
Already, you know what I'm saying, 12 years ahead of anybody who's waiting for a permit to learn how to operate a vehicle, an automobile.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And when we really understand our natural genius, we will put ourselves in positions where we'll be ahead. You feel me? Not figuring it out at 21. And you in there for like 2 years and realize this ain't what it is. You know what I'm saying? You already had that experience coming up, so it's done. It's over with. But yeah, I yield the floor on that, Moorish.
Islam.
That was good, Moorish. Islam.
Really good, really good. Well, that's gonna take us to another question. What's the time looking like, Sheik?
You say another 15 or something?
Yeah, that'll work. Cause I'm
we already getting 2 hours, so
yeah.
make sure you go rvpublications.com, go get something.
There you
Show
go.
some support.
There you go. There
Make sure
you go.
Go to wheelofallah.com, go get something, show some support.
Mm-hmm.
khalifamedia.com, show some support.
That's right. That's right.
Go get Mrs. book.
Yep, that's right. I'm getting mine. I'm getting mine.
Go get that.
I'm definitely getting mine, more. I gotta get mine, Sheik. But
Absolute.
Again, Khalifa Media, RV Bay Publications, mothers. Is that's true, right? Those are ran by mothers, right?
It is.
Islam.
It is.
Islam. So yeah, another 15 minutes, and then we'll take it down. So let's just take about 5 minutes to say, you know, what since we know that mothers are the progenitors of us and of the planet. You know, I'm gonna get this one last question in, and then we can go ahead and, you know, start to break down. Now, once the brothers get it, we got it. And then the sisters get it, and they got it. What would be next? And any one of you brothers can chime in on that.
The generations, bro. It's about the generations, posterity. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Like, if that happens, you know, then everything else falls into place.
Right.
Because it's about us here now, but it's more so about what we as a people leave behind, you know, for generations to come. And if you want to take that on multiple dimensions, it might even be what you're doing now for when you come back. You know, so let alone posterity, you might come back and have to bear the fruits of your labor. Or not, you know what I'm saying? That's what I would see. I give the floor.
Islam. Sheik?
Islam, I echo exactly what Ms. said. You know, everything is going to fall into place. Because there's no other way that it could go. Like, you know, look at, when you're talking about the dirt bike, was that the mother or was that the father or both that was pushing them to?
Well, both of them. It's because it was both of them. You know, I don't know who influenced who, but they both had an affinity for riding dirt bikes. But they both consent. They both consent. Like, they're both with it all the way, 100. She's out there. Yeah, he's good. He got his helmet. You know, he's riding with his dad. She's with it, 100, bro. And, you know, that's what that is. So, yeah, they both back that. They are on their own racetrack, etc. Yeah.
Wow.
and go other places. Yeah. And riding other. So they got the private property, quote unquote, and they go to other places as well. So they're on it. My fault, I didn't want to cut your wisdom, but to answer your question, yeah, the mom is totally with it, like, all the way.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah.
And,
I'll use the yield on that. Just that it couldn't have been said better. One man realizes and woman realizes and they recognize each other, then you're gonna have, because again, we don't know, dad could have been doing whatever with the two examples that Ms. gave. Dad could have been something else. He couldn't make it to the, or he could have said, I'm not even going on this. I'm just gonna heal. So know that there are possibilities once you do a thing, in a certain alignment. Again, 14 years, graduated. Like he can go to school 50 other times.
wow.
Word.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm still
Like he
partner.
can lock people. Yeah, he can lock people going to school.
I'm still baffled. Partner interjection. I'm still baffled at 14 and finishing college. More like that's like unheard of. More.
Yeah, keep in mind, not a European student. This is the young Moor. You feel me?
Exactly.
Like, so, place like we stupid and we can't achieve. Like, go back to history. You me? Like, I know that there's European example in it. Times that common. That was the common. You be done with your college education at 14, ready for adulthood. How you think the Jews got one up? At 13 they having bar mitzvahs.
Right.
What you think that's about?
Right.
They moving into adulthood. You feel me?
Right.
So you got young Moor who got a chance to compete out here in the world with the other nations of the earth at 14, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should not be missing. No history books, no reporting, any of that. Like, that's a highlight. And these are melanated Moors. You feel me? So we got good examples of what we can do, right? Because some Europeans, imagine you go to college at 20, you living on campus, or 18, 19, whatever. You go through it, but some people just go through the motions, you know what I'm saying, party hardy, and, it's just an experience. But this young man went all the way, you feel me, at 14, and I don't know, man, that's just a big prop, a big, almost genius, so that's what we got to look forward to. And think about this too, right? Because people play games like it's not the youth that's the difference in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the youth. I know it's a lot of parents who wouldn't be with this today. Think about it. Even with MLK, so-called Martin Luther King, it wasn't really none of that other stuff that made a difference. Like, and I would never suggest anybody sacrifice their children, but let's be real. The fact that the world said, hold on, move from the concept of, we want the White House to do something. So, no, hold on, we have to do something. After they sent the children out there and they got beat down, you heard, and hosed and hit with hose. That's when everybody felt a sense of responsibility. It was the children. It didn't matter your skin complexion. It was the common theme through life, you know what I mean? When they seen that, that's where the shit came in and more people started coming on board. I know there's people who lived through that time who could tell a story better than me. But from what I've studied, that's what made the difference. When they televised the fact it was little youth out there getting pummeled by water hoses, you know what I'm saying? Water pressure, all that. Also, I say good or bad, it's the youth that makes the difference. Again, why I know Riley said this is for the young and yet unborn. And who has that first responsibility? You know what I'm saying? It goes back to the mothers. Just like we was, and that's the real truth. So, again, I'm not vouching for sending children out in harm's way. I'm just saying that, there's no limit on them, but it would make difference. Because nobody cared until they saw children getting harmed. So, I'm not saying the resolve is for, let's let the children get harmed. No, I'm just saying that they, in fact, and indeed, make a difference. So again, we got to demystify this whole thing, because her role has been, like I said before, discredited to the point where, they even had of man, woman, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, completely erased the woman out of the picture. Mm-hmm. So, but that's why I give props to those words due when they put the picture back in with man, woman, child, because that's the Trinity. So when you say when they get it together and what happens next, it's about life continuing itself, legacy, inheritance, not feelings and emotions. Why don't we have it now? Because, I can't say we don't have anything, don't get me wrong, but like the European always trying to have a hand in our inheritances and things of that nature is because like they're keeping, they pass down what they call the institution of slavery. Mm-hmm. That's what they pass, and that's what they're thriving on, while we're being ostracized and slandered and things of this nature for standing on freedom, standing on liberty, standing on law. The principles Noble Riley laid out, and it's just a shame to see these it's crazy, bro.
Islam.
It's crazy.
Islam, boy.
Saying, yeah. But everybody, their karma will catch them. But I'm just saying that, we don't have no ill intentions. The law of nature can't be offensive. It is what it is. And in the law of nature, there's no species, there's no other nationality that is more superior than yours, than you. So be yourselves, you'll be okay. And now you get the floor on that.
Islam. Well put together, Noble One. We got about 3 minutes left. I want to allot at least a minute to each one of you brothers to give a shout out and bid farewell to the family until next time. So either one of you brothers can go first.
Islam one. I just want to say give thanks again for the good build, the holy day build. Good when Moors get together, put their minds in the same place, see what we can do.
Islam
to all the Moors mind, and all the Moors who gonna be seeing this after today. And peace and love to Partner Interjection, Sons of Allah, and MHHS. Thanks. For Islam, before you do that, there was one quick question. Who impregnated the first mother? If you want, we could save that for Sons of Allah, but that's a question that came up in the chat.
All right. All right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's a deep conversation, y'all.
I want to be in on that. I like to hear that. I like to hear that too. But
I
no,
don't
please
know.
go.
We could shoot philosophy all night, or you know what I mean. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I
right.
would save that for another time. It's whatever y'all want to do, man.
Yeah,
It's a question. I can't say. I can't give you. You know what I'm saying? The name and date of birth thing, but you know we can piece that together. I was just having this conversation the other night. I'll just say this. You know, like, you know, what's a seed to the earth? You know what I'm saying? What's a seed to the earth? Because would the seed even exist if it wasn't the earth? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's really, I don't know. It's a complex, I don't know. I don't even want to know. Man, I'm gonna leave it at that, bro. Like, I think,
Islam. That's one to build on. You know how they say that's one to grow on? Nah, that's one to build on. And we can say that to the next one. But go ahead and do your thing, Mar. Got about a minute and a half left.
all right.
Oh, you want to give out, you know, some shout outs and some acknowledgments, or you good, Miz?
Peace and love to everybody that listen live and everybody that'll listen after this. Big acknowledgement for Interjection, Canaanland, Moors, Iron Sheik, RV Bay Publications, my mother Roz, Mother E, all act. All Moors who are aligning in spirit and soul, you know, with what we're here for, what you are here for. Acknowledgement and thanks to that. And definitely Mantis Views 29. Big acknowledgement there. I definitely will be releasing a lot throughout March. You was talking about the Madonna. We're going to get into some of that this year for St. Patty's Day, quote unquote, etc., and all these other called saints. So, you know, I just give thanks and acknowledgement to everybody. You know, thank y'all for figuring this out, and that I give the floor, Moorish.
Islam.
To you all.
Islam. Well, you know me. I got to give thanks first and foremost to the mothers, which was a good topic today and a good energy builder. If the best energy builder I've ever had on Partner Interjection. I want to give thanks to you brothers, Kudro Adu El, Sheik Kudro Adu El, and my brother, my cousin, Noble One, Mizraim Aleph El. Thank you brothers for both coming on here. It was been a long time coming to have both you brothers on here, and I'm glad we did it. And as I say, we should do it again anytime. I'm ready when y'all ready. And I want to give thanks to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because without him, I wouldn't be a Moor. I would be back in my nigger state doing nigger shit. So, with that being said, thank all the ones in the host, all the Moors, all the Moors in the chat, all the Moors, all the Moors worldwide who's going to hear this after we finish. And I want to say, before we go, please go pick up. I have information that I'm going to give and be leaving on here at the end of this, where you can get your drives. You can get your study drives. Brother Taj, Grand Sheik Taj, have a study drive that you can pre-order them, or you can send your drive to them and they give you all the information you need on that drive. So I will be leaving a link at the end of this to that. So big up to my National Grand Sheik, our National Grand Sheik, Taj Tariq Bey, the mothers. I can't forget them. Mother Roz, Mother Anna Eid, I love y'all. Thank you for the work that y'all do, and it cannot be, there's no words that can say and give thanks for that, because y'all truly put y'all neck on the line for us. So with that being said, I want to thank all, and all love be to all. And thank you brothers again for coming on. Islam, I yield.
No doubt more.
Alright, we're going to do this again, so we're going to catch that out. So I want to say peace to you brothers. Peace, Moors.
Alright, peace, Moors. Peace, fam. Joe.
Islam. Well, that was a great one. And with that being said, you heard it here. It's about the mothers. It's about the mothers. So that's what we do. We here help build for the mothers, because that's what we do. Once the mothers get this information and get it together, the possibilities are truly, truly unlimited. And like I say, don't believe me. Go check it out for yourself, and you'll be amazed at the jewels you'll find on your treasure hunt, Moors. And that's going to bring us down to the last few seconds of the show. And I want to say, as always, don't believe me. Go check it out for yourself. And you'll be amazed at the jewels you'll find on your treasure hunt, Moors. I love you, Moors. With that, I say, peace.
You sat down and you attacked the master teacher because you thought you heard something that you didn't hear. That's the first violation. You don't come in. First of all, you come in and you act like you come in peace, but you don't. You got an agenda.
Moors are men upright, independent and fearless. Dogmatized, dirty Moors, tongues cut out, left earless, cause they never listen. Dirty Moors, keep up your slander. Wu-Tang torture in your ass, hot hangers. Kidnappers, dirty Moor, torture him like Saw. 3D, 0.5 or 1 through 4. Or get it like 5 or 6 with a fez on jigsaw. Leather face in a turban, rip dirty Moors lips off. Disrespecting the mother Raz Mariah Bay. Wrap him up like double crochet, the barbed wire way. Throw him off a bridge or feed him to the piranhas. Yellow journalists more spread nothing but propaganda. Idi Amin Bey, treat the temple like Uganda. Dirty Moors like foreigners, crush the dust like ganja. Not worthy of being Moors, we call them dirty Nehesus. Solomon Seal spell command 72 demons to get you.
This is what the temple guys actually said. That Canaanland is not a part of North America. Canaanland is bigger. Yo, it's ignorant, man. I mean, come on, you're talking about the same land mass. Canaanland is actually bigger than the land mass they know is the corporate United States. Almost twice as big. And if they had any sense, they could just go to Google and they can type in North America and find out North America goes all the way up to Greenland. But they're ignorant. They don't want to do that. They just dealing off emotion.
You might hear horse voices, see frog faces and hoots for feet. Demons we run with, spit fire with gold wolf teeth. Keep playing, forget backseats, new Moors are an issue. Get Ginsu, maybe a dream visit from Vishnu. A nightmare to never end and always continue. Cold as an igloo, dealing with my trust issues. Through vigilance, active Moors are militants. SPLC dirty Moors, call that sovereign citizen. Lying for views, they notice all the empty pews. Benz need gas and fixing, but not enough dues. Pigpen bays sell you off for peanuts, claiming that we nuts. For teaching birthright, street level, keeping it beating us.
To any members of the MSTA that's out there listening to what I'm saying, please get it through your head. I don't have a problem with the MSTA. I got issues with
the Kendrick Lamar, stay surrounded by feathers. Dirt is guilty of fraud if Drew Ali scrutinized their ledgers. Getting proclamations from Morocco, disrespect us. Corporate city only recognize people's court jesters. Handing it back, Moorish puppets and minions. Never get the human rights recognition like Moors near Virginia. Commonwealth, for active Moors knowledge, the Commonwealth.